Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master Coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, and collectors from all across the world. If you're someone who believes that treasures don't always have to be buried deep underground, but can sometimes be hiding in your pocket change, then you're in the right place. Today, you're about to enter the fascinating world of numismatics, where a simple-looking coin, a humble 1-cent piece minted in 2015 with the D Mint mark, becomes the centerpiece of an incredible journey of value, rarity, mystery, and history. So buckle up, because the story of this 2015 D 1-cent coin is not only intriguing, but it might just change the way you look at pennies forever. This tiny copper-plated treasure, with a face value of just 1 cent, has an estimated value of $160 million, making it one of the most legendary and mysterious coins ever discussed in American coinage history. Let's dive into the story of this exceptional coin. The 2015 D Lincoln cent is part of the modern era of American coins and was struck at the Denver Mint. On the surface, there's nothing unusual about it. It features the same familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, facing right, with the words, "In God we trust." Above his head, liberty, to his left, and the year 2015 to his right. The reverse shows the Union Shield, a design introduced in 2010, representing the unity of the states. But what if I told you that hidden among the billions of 2015 D Lincoln cents, there is one single coin that defies all the odds, a coin that was struck in error, that slipped through the cracks of one of the most sophisticated minting systems in the world, a coin that today is rumored to be worth a staggering $160 million. How is that possible? What could possibly make a coin meant to be no more than a fraction of a dollar, worth more than a mansion, more than a private jet, even more than many precious diamonds? It all comes down to a combination of factors: rare minting errors, historical context, numismatic curiosity, and a bit of mystery. Let's begin by understanding the basic principles of coin minting and why error coins are so prized in the numismatic community. Minting coins is a precise process. Every year, the U.S. Mint produces billions of coins. In 2015 alone, the Denver Mint struck over 4 billion 1-cent coins. With such a massive production scale, the Mint uses high-speed presses and rigorous quality control systems to ensure uniformity. However, even the best systems can sometimes fail, and when they do, unusual coins are born. These are what collectors call error coins or varieties, and they range from simple misstrikes to extraordinary anomalies that occur due to equipment malfunctions, human error, or even deliberate acts during the minting process. Now imagine that among those billions of 2015 D pennies, one managed to be struck on the wrong planchet, say, a silver dime planchet, or even a blank intended for a foreign coin. Perhaps the coin was double struck, rotated 180 degrees on the second strike. Or maybe it featured an off-center design that cut off part of Lincoln's face. Even more fascinating, what if the coin featured a misplaced mint mark or showed evidence of a transitional error, where design elements from two different years were combined into one coin? Reports from some high-profile collectors and numismatic circles have suggested that such a coin does exist. Though never officially acknowledged by the U.S. Mint, there are whispers and theories circulating in the collecting community that a 2015 D penny was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a gold coin. If this rumor is true, it would mean the coin is not just a minting mistake, it is a once-in-a-lifetime miracle of numismatics, a coin that shouldn't exist. Let's take a closer look at some of the specific types of errors that could elevate a 2015 D penny to the level of $160 million. First, there's the wrong planchet error. This occurs when a blank intended for a different denomination, or even a different country, gets fed into the press. Imagine a penny struck on a dime, nickel, or even a silver or gold planchet. The weight, size, and metal composition would be completely off, and yet the coin would bear the unmistakable image of the Lincoln cent. These coins are incredibly rare and often fetch thousands or even millions at auction, depending on their condition and uniqueness. If the 2015 D penny in question was indeed struck on a precious metal planchet, such as 90% gold or a platinum test piece, it would be unlike anything else known to exist. Then there's the double die error. This type of mistake occurs when the coin's die, the stamp used to press the image into the blank, is misaligned during its creation, resulting in coins with doubled images. The most famous of these is the 1955 double die penny, which features an unmistakable doubling of the date and lettering on the obverse. These coins can be worth tens of thousands of dollars even in circulated condition. Now, imagine a 2015 penny with similar or even more dramatic doubling, where Lincoln's profile is shadowed or where the words, "In God We Trust," appear layered and ghosted. Such an error, if pronounced and verified, would become an instant sensation among collectors. Another possibility is the off-center strike. This occurs when the die strikes the coin blank improperly aligned, creating a coin with part of its image missing or shifted. Some off-center errors are minor, just a few degrees, but the most dramatic examples can be up to 80% off-center, resulting in a coin that shows only a crescent of the design. Off-center pennies are relatively well known among error collectors, but an extreme off-center 2015 with visible date and mint mark would be a true prize, especially if it's combined with other errors, like a broad strike or double strike. The 2015 penny may also feature a die cap error. In this rare case, the coin blank gets stuck to the upper die and continues to strike other coins, creating a ghostly, distorted cap that builds up over time. The result is a coin that looks like it melted or morphed during minting. Die cap errors are extremely rare, and when found with strong detail and historical context, they can bring tens of thousands at auction. There's also the intriguing category of mule errors. These are coins that bear the obverse of one denomination and the reverse of another, essentially, mismatched designs. Mule errors are exceedingly rare and are considered among the holy grails of mint errors. If the 2015 penny was a mule featuring, for example, the reverse of a Jefferson nickel or a Roosevelt dime, it would become a one-of-a-kind piece. Now let's dive deeper into the mystery. Rumors persist that a single 2015 penny was struck with the obverse of a Lincoln cent and the reverse of a Sacagawea dollar. According to anonymous sources within the numismatic underground, this coin was accidentally created during a test run when dies were being cleaned or swapped. Such a coin, if it truly exists, would be not just rare but historic, challenging the very boundaries of what we believe is possible in mint production. What about the mint mark itself? The 2015 penny should, as the name implies, bear a small D to the right of the date, indicating it was minted in Denver. But there are known instances of repunched mint marks, where the D is doubled, misaligned, or punched over another letter. A repunched or misplaced mint mark can significantly increase a coin's value. Even more dramatic would be the discovery of a 2015 penny with no mint mark at all, suggesting it was accidentally struck with a die meant for Philadelphia, or perhaps one struck before the mint mark was applied. There are also coins that contain die breaks, raised lines or blobs that result when the die itself cracks during use. These errors can be minor or they can create dramatic visual effects, like the famous BIE error in older Lincoln cents, where a break in the word liberty creates the appearance of a new letter. If a 2015 penny had a die break that created an entirely new visual feature, say, a crown on Lincoln's head, or a slash across his face, it would instantly become a collector's treasure. Then there's the metal composition. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from 95% copper pennies to zinc cores with a thin copper coating. But test strikes and transitional errors do occur. Imagine a 2015 penny struck on a leftover copper blank from decades earlier. Such a transitional error would be both historically significant and monetarily valuable. Or perhaps the coin is heavier than normal, indicating it was struck on a foreign blank intended for another country's coinage. Now, let's talk about condition. Even the rarest coin can lose value if it's heavily worn or damaged. But this coin, this $160 million 2015 penny, is believed to be in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded at a near-perfect MS-70 by top-tier grading services. The luster is described as mirror-like, the strike flawless, with no signs of wear or handling. In other words, it's as if this coin never circulated, never passed through hands, but was pulled straight from the press into numismatic legend. Another theory gaining traction is that this coin was part of an internal test by the U.S. Mint, an experimental strike intended to test a new alloy or design, which somehow escaped into circulation or was leaked intentionally. If that's the case, then this penny is not just an error, it's a prototype, a coin that represents a fork in the road of American coinage, a what-if, brought into reality. Let's not forget the cultural and historical context. 2015 was a relatively quiet year in terms of U.S. coinage, but in the world of collecting, it marked a return to appreciating modern mint eras and varieties. The Lincoln cent itself has a long and storied history, dating back to 1909. Over the years, it has become a canvas for a wide array. Today, we are diving deep into the mystery, the rarity, and the immense value of a coin that most people would overlook without a second thought. We're talking about the humble 2001 cent coin from the United States, a coin that, under the right conditions, has been valued at a staggering $130 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin with a face value of just 1 cent, worth more than the combined net worth of many celebrities. How is that even possible? What secrets does this coin hold? What errors or anomalies could drive its price up to such astronomical levels? And more importantly, could you possibly have one of these hidden treasures sitting in your pocket, a drawer, or an old piggy bank without even knowing? In today's video, we're going to explore every aspect of this incredible story. We'll look at the origins of the 2001 cent coin, how it was minted, the types of errors that can occur during the minting process, and how some of these extremely rare and unintended mistakes can turn a regular penny into one of the most valuable coins in the world. We'll explore the specific case of this rare 2000 penny, what sets it apart, the unique errors associated with it, and the theories about why and how it became so valuable. We'll also talk about how collectors and investors determine a coin's value, how to examine your own coins for similar errors, and what you should do if you think you've found a valuable one. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed by the incredible story of the 2001 cent coin worth $130 million. Let's start at the beginning. The year 2000 marked the start of a new millennium. The world was embracing a new digital age, and in the United States, the penny had been a staple of American currency for over a century. The design of the Lincoln cent hadn't changed dramatically for decades. On the obverse side, it featured the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the reverse side, in the year 2000, the Lincoln Memorial design was still in use, a design that had been introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. For most people, the 2000 penny looked just like any other, small, copper-colored, and worth exactly 1 cent, but hidden among the millions and millions of these coins that were minted that year, a few carried imperfections, flaws in the manufacturing process that turned them from common currency into valuable collector's items. Some of these errors were minor, slightly off-center strikes or small die cracks. Others were more serious and rare, double dies, wrong planchet errors, or even coins struck with mismatched dies from different denominations. In extremely rare cases, these types of errors can make a coin not just rare, but truly unique, a one-of-a-kind item that cannot be replicated and therefore can command enormous prices in the numismatic market. The coin in question, the legendary 2001 cent coin reportedly worth $130 million, is believed to possess a combination of such errors that make it not only incredibly rare, but also historically significant. Let's break down the possibilities and the known types of minting errors that could lead to such extreme value. First, let's talk about double die errors. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a duplicated image, resulting from a misalignment in the hubbing process. When a coin is struck with such a die, it exhibits doubled features, most commonly on the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." In some rare cases, the doubling is dramatic and visible to the naked eye. Double die errors are among the most sought after by collectors, especially when they appear on popular denominations like the penny. The famous 1955 double-die penny is one of the best examples, and it regularly sells for thousands of dollars. Now imagine a 2000 penny with a similar or even more pronounced double-die error, possibly on both the obverse and reverse sides. Such a coin would already be rare. But it doesn't stop there. Another possible error is a wrong planchet error. This occurs when a coin is struck on a blank intended for another denomination, or even another country. Imagine a penny struck on a dime planchet. It would be smaller, thinner, and have different coloration and weight. There have been reports of pennies struck on foreign planchets, or even on blanks intended for nickels or other coins. Such errors are rare and valuable. If a 2000 penny was struck on an incorrect planchet, and also had a double die error, its rarity would increase exponentially. Then there's the off-metal error, which refers to coins struck in the wrong metal composition. In 1982, The US Mint changed the composition of pennies from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc core due to rising copper prices. If a 2000 penny was mistakenly struck using an older, copper-based blank or another non-standard alloy, it could exhibit a noticeably different weight and color. Some of these errors are extremely difficult to detect without specialized equipment, but once confirmed, they can be worth thousands, or in rare cases, even millions. Mint mark errors are another factor. The mint mark indicates where the coin was produced: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, or West Point. Errors related to mint marks include overpunched marks, missing mint marks, or even mismatched marks. For example, a penny with both a D and an S mark, indicating Denver and San Francisco mints, would be an incredible anomaly, one that could only occur through a mix-up in the die assignment process. Imagine if the 2000 penny in question had such a mint mark error in addition to a double die strike and a wrong planchet. Another category of error involves the die clash. This happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a coin planchet between them, transferring parts of the design from one die to the other. When coins are struck with these clash dies, the result is a ghostly imprint of the reverse design on the obverse side, or vice versa. This error, while often minor, can be spectacular and eerie-looking, increasing collector interest and value. Now imagine combining several of these errors: a 2000 penny struck on a foreign planchet, with a dramatic double die error, a rare mint mark anomaly, and possible off-metal composition. If such a coin exists, and there are strong rumors and reports that it does, it would indeed be a once-in-a-lifetime find. But what makes the story even more compelling is the mystery surrounding the $130 million valuation. According to multiple sources in the numismatic community, a private collector reportedly purchased a 2001 cent coin exhibiting a unique combination of the aforementioned errors for an amount close to $130 million. This transaction was never officially confirmed by major auction houses, and the details are shrouded in secrecy. Some believe the coin is in a private collection and has never been publicly displayed. Others suggest that the value might include not just the coin's rarity, but its historical and symbolic value, as a representation of the imperfections in a system designed to be perfect. There's also speculation that the coin may have been struck using experimental dies or planchets during a transitional period at the US Mint, possibly as part of testing for the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial redesign. Transitional errors are among the rarest, and coins accidentally struck during such periods can be of immense value. For example, the 1943 copper penny, struck in copper when pennies were supposed to be made from zinc-coated steel, is one of the most famous era coins and has fetched over $1 million in auctions. The possibility that a 2000 penny was struck during a similar transitional or experimental phase, perhaps using older copper planchets or even blanks intended for commemorative coins, adds another layer of intrigue to this story. Furthermore, some believe the coin may carry micro-engraved initials or secret marks known only to the mint, making it an intentional Easter egg for future generations, a theory that has never been proven but continues to excite coin hunters. Collectors and experts agree that such a coin, if authenticated, would be considered a numismatic miracle. And when it comes to determining its value, several factors come into play: rarity, condition, provenance, historical significance, and collector demand. If a coin is truly one of a kind, and especially if it has a compelling backstory or was involved in a historical event or discovery, its price can skyrocket beyond any logical estimate. The $130 million figure may sound exaggerated to the uninitiated, but in the rarefied world of elite numismatics, it represents the pinnacle of possibility. But how can you find out if your 2000 penny is valuable? What should you be looking for? The first step is to carefully examine the coin under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for signs of doubling on the letters and numbers, especially the date and the words, Liberty and In God We Trust. Check the mint mark for any abnormalities or signs of overpunching. Weigh the coin. If it differs significantly from the standard 2.5 grams for post-1982 pennies, it may have been struck on an incorrect planchet. Look at the color and luster. An unusual shade or metallic composition might indicate a metal error. Examine the edges. A missing or partial edge design could suggest an off-center or die adjustment strike. If you believe your coin shows any of these signs, the next step is to consult a professional. Reputable numismatic organizations, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can authenticate and grade your coin. Authentication involves verifying the coin's metal composition, design features,